Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. Just setting up my podcast really quickly. Going to be an all-in rant today, as you can see by the title. Slow week for Xbox. A little bit of sarcasm in the title. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are blue green, whether you wanted to pay attention to it or not. Sorry, I just want to sure this thing's true. But whether you wanted to pay attention to it or not, I mean, it is all over the place. All the stuff that's going on with Xbox. I did a video last week showcasing Laura Fryer, who I actually like. And when I mean I like her, it's specifically her as well as the old crew from the Xbox days, the original Xbox days. And so I'm going to be doing more videos like that on my channel. I'll be showcasing people that I think you should be following across the spectrum, not just gaming, but every other genre I do on this channel. For example, shout out to Jim Shooter, who passed away. Rest in peace. He was the editor in chief of Marvel Comics for a long time. I kind of grew up in the shadow of a lot of the stuff that he produced. And so those are the kind of things I'm going to be talking about on the channel moving forward. And just to let you guys know, man, some of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing, kind of like my politics, dude. It doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with their point of view, as people have been pointing out with the video that watched it. But just out of respect for her being on the original, on that original set of people that put the Xbox together. Again, if you guys haven't seen the Power On documentary, highly recommend you guys go check that out. It's a really good documentary. Um, it talks about how Xbox came to be, and I'm talking about like this is the OG guys like Seamus Blackley, Ed Freeze, Laura's part of it. Kiki Wolfkill was always one of my favorite personalities over at Xbox that helped with the development, and a lot of them rode Xbox out for a long time. They were with Xbox until the Xbox One came into play, which is interesting enough. Did you kind of see their DNA on the fingerprints of that console as well? And so I know a little bit of a shift for me on my channel, but again, like I tell you guys all the time, I have to do things that I'm interested in, right? But sorry guys, let me get situated here. All right, we're good. We're good. I can see it. Let me shut this off before I end up being on the wrong monitor. And that's the interesting thing, right, about this week, dude. There's so much stuff going on in the world. And again, like I said, I did the video, I had the video to Laura last week. I shared the video with Tim Dog, and it was funny because he went in a different direction that I thought he was going to go in with it. But that's fine, dude. That's he does what he does. Like I said, you guys know I'm politically charged on this channel, dude. I spend more time looking at people's opinions on the opposite side of where I am because I already know what I believe when it comes to politics. Same thing with principles or morals and stuff like that. A lot of the times when I'm doing research and stuff, I'm looking at what's going on outside of my bubble. And I think that's the biggest problem right now with everything that's going on in the world is people, they don't have the ability to do that. And I'm not saying you can't be passionate or have your opinions or even disagree. In fact, I think that's really good because that kind of reinforces what you believe. That's why I do what I do on this channel. But just because somebody I disagree with doesn't mean, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Doesn't mean I can't listen to their opinion. Now, most of the time I can deduce where the person's coming from. So, there's that. But other than that, I mean, people can say what they want to say. I have no problem with that. Unless you're on my show and I want to move on and you don't listen. Shout out to Zobi70, man. I haven't talked to Zobi in a while. And I know he did a video, didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. But that's kind of case in point why I'm doing this, man. I put that video out, the hat tip video, not thinking that it would blow up the way that it is. Not that my video would do that, but that a lot of people would actually get that and then run with it the way that they did. Right. Because for a lot of people, they're like, well, there's a lot of hate going on and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, it's always like that. It's 24/7 like that with Xbox. It's so much so like that I'm numb. I'm numb to it. Like anytime anything Microsoft does or Xbox does, it's going to be in the news, good or bad. Majority of the time, it's bad. And that's why I don't really care a lot of the times. I mean, like I tell you guys on this channel, when I do videos, it's more about the principle. Like I'm going to rant today. Now, if you guys have comments and you guys have, you guys want to make a statement in the chat, that's fine and everything like that. But these are the videos that I do to kind of get stuff off my chest, right? But just to let you guys know as well, dude, it doesn't really bother me, all the stuff that's going on. Because like I said on my channel multiple times, dude, Xbox is the industry leader. Whether people want to acknowledge it or not, I know a lot of the PlayStation guys have to grasp to the fact that PlayStation and Sony holds on. Uh, you know, they sell all these consoles, and that's what makes them the leader. Well, hey, if that helps you guys sleep at night, that's fine. But anytime there's a turn in the industry, anytime there's something that happens with Microsoft and with their Xbox brand, it just doesn't affect the gaming media. It goes across all avenues. Case in point, let me go bring this up really quick. And you can jump into this. Um, just for example, let me just share my. Let me just share my screen for a second. Okay. Hope you guys can see that, right? Let me blow this up so you can see a bit of view. That's about as good as it gets. And again, I'm just going to do a search. Okay. So you wake up, you type in Xbox. You guys know I love to get my Bing points, as you can see. Right? Right up there, my Bing points. There. So I do searches on the daily. And of course, you guys know that I follow entertainment, politics. One of the big things I've been searching up is K-pop Demon Hunters on that's not the newest anime that Netflix dropped. I'll probably do a separate video about that. Really enjoyed that movie. And so this is what I do: jump in, and then I'll pop in Xbox, and then I'll do my search. So I get my Bing points, and I get my information. And ironically, Bing is owned by Microsoft. And a lot of the stories, now I will say, I'm looking at it right now, it's not too bad. But for the last couple of days, dude, it's all been, it's all been media about Xbox and Microsoft specifically. And it's been predominantly negative because of all the news that's been coming out. First, the thing with Laura Fryer last week, right? And that's just her giving her opinions, guys. People are entitled to give their opinions, right? If you bleed green, everything that she says, whether you agree with her or not, should not bother you, right? Now, case in point, Brother Hebot did a video talking about it, and the perspective that he has, definitely 100% agree, right? What happens is, because he talks about this all the time too, what happens is when people do these videos, man, they're using it, they weaponize it, right? And for somebody like me, it's no different from, say, somebody like an actor like Luke, that played Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. Okay, he'll always be Luke Skywalker to me, right? I just don't like him now, right? He's a bitter, grouchy old guy. He's very politically charged. He says the most stupid and psychotic stuff on online. Then when he gets caught on it, he plays the victim, right? He's all of that rolled up into one. But that's his politics and his personally. But to me, he'll always be Luke Skywalker, right? Same thing if you're a sports fan and there's an athlete you like Bobby Bonilla used to play for the or not Barry Bonds. Well, Bobby Bonilla did play for the Pirates, but Barry Bonds used to play for the Pirates before he became a big shot in the Giants. And I wish him no ill will and stuff like that. I wish he would have showed up for the playoffs, right? When the pitch, he had always had great seasons, but when you get the playoffs, man, he would disappear. And he's not the only one; other people as well on the team. And we never got to the World Series where I felt that was our moment. But anyway, so he takes the bag, goes to San Francisco Giants. I don't have no animosity towards the dude. He did what he did and stuff like that. Wished him well, right? Yu Suzuki, right? Yu Suzuki, not a big fan of Xbox, as we can tell, right? Has his own personal things that went on with Sega from history in the past. He's my favorite, and still to this day, my favorite developer, right? Because of the stuff that he did with Sega back in the day. In fact, I'll use Sega as an example. Definitely not the same Sega I grew up with, but I still rock Sega forever, right? That's my gamer tag. You guys want to look me up on Xbox, right? Hey, brother. I mean, if you got some time, brother, let me know if you want to jump in. In fact, I'll just shoot you the link, and if you can, I know you're busy. Hold on. Let me Instagram this. Great video the other day, by the way. 100% with you, man. Like when I did my video on Laura, I mean, her and then Shannon Loftus, all those guys, right? I always give respect to them. The one I felt sorry for the most, man. I don't know why I can't think of her name right now, but she was running the Halo team, 343. I felt like she got a raw deal, in the whole thing because of what they were trying to do. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna see if I send this out to Heatbot. All right, brother. You know the deal. I'll send it to you on Instagram if you want to jump in if you got time. I know you're probably driving around. I'm just off today, bro. I'm off today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's 4th of July. Um, so I had to take my daughter this morning, and I got some time before I gotta head out. So that's why I'm just doing a rant video today. I'll probably do a all uh, wrecking crew video on Saturday morning, just to yeah, dude. Yeah. Just jump in and out. I'm on the screen now, so. But yeah, this is why again. Whether you guys want to acknowledge it or not, man, Microsoft is the biggest dog in the fight right now. They always have been, actually. In fact, that's why I'm not stressing out about all this news, because you have a lot of the PlayStation guys yapping, which is par for the course. I'm used to that, right? But where I see this stuff when it starts going viral is when it incorporates people that don't know anything about Xbox, or people that don't talk about Xbox, people that don't own an Xbox, probably don't have Game Pass, and they deal with. And the reason why I see their videos is because I follow them for other things, right? I follow most of these guys for pop culture. And now they're getting involved, right? That's how you know something's going viral, right? The only problem with that, and this is something I want to share with you, Xbox guys, where give you peace of mind, and shout out to the Xbox community, at least the hardcore guys, dude. They're nobody's biting, and I'm proud of that, dude. I see, and I'm not talking about the Code Eastwoods and the people like that, dude. They do their videos, they do whatever they need to do. I'm talking about the people that actually play their games. Like when I popped up on my friends list because I'm playing Return to the Mines of Moria, right? It's a Lord of the Rings game that came out, kind of fell off my radar. It was on sale. It's something that I always want to check out because it's Lord of the Rings, and then it has a lot of simulated um, aspect to the game, and I've always wanted to live in that world. When it comes to Lord of the Rings, I love the Lord of the Rings guys. I'm not a hardcore fan like other people. I consider myself a hardcore fan, but by other people's standards, definitely not on that level. But I still love the lore, love the world that Tolkien created. Respect to Tolkien. I mean, a lot of the stuff you have now is because of him, and the things that he created, the stories that he told, and the standard that he set. And so when I saw the game, it looked to me that it was something interesting. Now, like everything else, guys, and this is gaming 101, dude. Sometimes you see a game, you see a trailer, right? And then you have to take a chance on it, right? Luckily for us on Xbox, we have Game Pass. That's one of the things I love about Game Pass, because they'll put games in there that you might be interested in, and then you can try it, right? Again, it's like demo discs back in the days. If you guys are old like me, right? And that's the beauty of it, right? And again, you hear a lot of people chirping about Game Pass, and that's how you know too, because a lot of these people just have a thing about Game Pass and they just hate Xbox, right? And they hate Game Pass because the reason why this is blowing up and a lot of people are running with it, and I hope Satya realizes this because he should, because he's the CEO of Microsoft. In the same vein that people just hate Microsoft for various reasons, right? Because of the software. I'm talking about more on the tech side. On the gaming side, this is why people hate Xbox. Hey, Unlimited, what's up, brother? Yeah, exactly. Define slow. Yeah, I was being sarcastic. Hey, if you want to jump in, I'll send you a link too, brother. I know you're busy. I know you got stuff going on, right? Hold on, but I'll send it to you on Instagram. Sorry, my Twitter is not. The wrongest thing I could have done was get on Twitter get the blue check mark. Not that it's bad. I mean, it's not. It's just that now I get tons of messages, so it's hard for me to do my inbox. You know how it is, man. So people on X, formerly Twitter, right? You'll put a thumbs up on their thing, and they think they want to, they think you want to be friends, and some of it has to do with the money. I didn't know you can make money on Twitter on X, the way that people do. So it's all of that rolled into one. So I just use my Instagram account. Yeah, if you want to jump in unlimited, I got it up. Yeah, I sent you the link. It's on Instagram, brother. I'm just off today, and 4th of July is tomorrow, so I want to get some stuff done. Federal holidays and everything shuts down, so now I'm gonna try and go to my bank today and try and see if they can fix my card, dude. I'm having issues with that, but anyway. Yeah, but that's the reality of it, dude. And you can tell when these guys do this. This is why when Hebot says the videos are all the same, so why watch it? I mean, I don't really watch it just because I see them do it, and I'm like, I already know what they're gonna say because they get all their news from the same place, right? It's all the gaming media, and the gaming media is all the same. This is why I listen to Unlimited and Hebot. I listen to the people in our group, Sigman, Tuck, all of us, man. Even if it's stuff that's outside of gaming, right? Because at least their perspective is their own. And when it comes to Xbox, we have the unique. It's unique for us because we actually are in the ecosystem. Everybody in the group is hardcore into the ecosystem, so that's why it's hard. It's another reason why it's hard to listen to some people because when you listen to them, you know they don't play the games. In fact, most of them I'm pretty sure don't have an Xbox. And I know Xbox has this, Microsoft has this Play Anywhere kind of thing, so they could be playing it on their PC or their handheld or stuff like that. But still, right? You can just tell by the way they talk about things and the information that they get that they're not 100% in. They're not 100% in the ecosystem. Hey, brother, you're I see you. I got you on. Let me bounce out. Your mic is muted. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Hola.
What's up, brother?
Hola.
Hey, great videos. I watched your 2 videos, man. Good videos, bro. Awesome.
Which one you talking about? When I called out Puerto Rico and fucking King Thrash?
Yeah, I watched that one, and then I watched the Laura Fryer. Your comments on Laura Fryer.
Oh yeah, that's just you know me. I have a lot of respect for the lady. She's the reason why Xbox was even where it was. One of the people right involved. All that misinformation she gave just gave a lot of ammo to everybody, and that pissed me off. Because I'm like, bro.
Let me just say this, right?
Go ahead.
The funny thing about that, right, is I didn't realize it would go that route. Because a lot of people,
right. I got you.
Okay, so like, for example, I said earlier, Jim Shooter, who's the editor-in-chief of Marvel, used to be the editor-in-chief of Marvel. Under his reign as the editor-in-chief, you got some of the best stories that Marvel ever produced.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
So there's people posting, right, about Jim Shooter. And I kind of was like, I read their stuff, and I was like, this dude, like, number one, age matters unless you went and read the old stuff. But age does matter in those kind of situations. And so, I mean, they're commenting kind of out of respect, which I respect. But then some people are talking about it, and you know that they don't read the comic books, right? So
right.
Right. In fact, if Unlimited pops in, Unlimited probably knows, and Unlimited's on the DC side. But because he's a comic book guy, I'm pretty confident he knows who Jim Shooter is.
Yeah. Now we know this that a lot of people don't even read comics.
Yeah.
But they love the games, they love the movies, but they don't really read the comics, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the thing I liked about your video, especially the most, is because it just reiterated to me that a lot of these guys talking don't know anything about games.
Right. Okay.
So because they just focus on that part, but I know a lot of them don't know the history of. A lot of them don't know the history of that first team, like how we know.
Right.
We didn't need to watch the documentary. It's the documentary that they did is just a great nostalgia bait. Well produced.
Yes, it just cemented what we knew. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw that, I was like, man, dude, this is how you know. I mean, this is my opinion. You can disagree. This is how you know that Xbox is the big dog.
Oh yeah. That's all that's been coming out of their mouth. It's Xbox.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Even with these other fucking places like Forbes, you know what I mean? New York Times, like they don't report shit like this, but yet they were all in it because they know it brings traffic, and traffic makes money.
Yeah, all the tech guys, the tech guys.
But what makes it up is, oh my God, Xbox is dead. It's completely dead. Mismanagement? No, it's not mismanagement. If you have a game like Everwild that's been in development for 10 years by a different offset rare developer, right? Not the people doing chip thieves. And yet they're seeing and looking at somebody like Obsidian that came in about to go bankrupt, and they just been popping out game after game after game after game consistently with a smaller team.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's gonna happen when Phil goes up top and goes, yo, listen, these are the reports, this is what's going on, this is our annually. So this team Obsidian has done 3 games for us this year so far, and 2 last year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, let's be perfect. But we got this rare team that is sipping on martinis. They live across the pond, and it's been 10 years that they're working on this Everwild game, and it's still not done. So when is it supposed to be done? They need maybe 2 more years. Oh, no, negative. That's not happening. That's not happening. Cut it. Because if they cut it now in the middle of the year, they could write it off. Whatever they spend this year for the tax write-offs. You get what I'm trying to say?
I don't think people realize, and I just looked it up because I couldn't remember, but Mixer. Microsoft spent all that money on Mixer, gave that dude Ninja like $25 million or however, and it wasn't working out the way.
You talking about the boy from Mixer?
You know when they bought Mixer?
Paid him, yeah, they paid him $3 billion.
They paid him $3 billion?
The little kid, you're talking about the 18-year-old, right?
Yeah, Ninja. Oh,
yeah, they paid him like, I think, the one who created Mixer.
Oh,
yeah. They paid him like $3 billion, I think it was, or 2 point something. It was close to 3. You saw how they cut that shit off. They didn't waste no time because it wasn't something. Nobody was using it.
Like that's what gets me about these guys. I'm like, dude, if you guys, and again, shout out to the Xbox community, man. At least the hardcore. Like we got Invader here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Like they've been like, because I've been on X, right? And you know, but I'm on X for other reasons. But
right.
Shout out to the Xbox community, man. They haven't lost their minds over this because I think like the rest of like me, I just be honest with you, like I said earlier, dude, like, we're just numb. You know what I'm saying? We're numb to all this stuff going on, right? Because every day is like the sky is falling, dude. It's like Chicken Little, right? No matter what they do, that's what it is. So yeah. And so, like you said, dude, when I look at and I don't have any problem with Forbes covering the news. I don't have a problem, but like maybe a Fox News Business, CNN, I forgot the name of their stuff. Because I follow those financial stuff because when it comes to financials, right, that's what you kind of follow. But the thing is, like you said, all you have to do is look at the title. And then I'm disappointed in them, right? Because they're now coming from it from a financial perspective. It's exactly like you said, it's like, oh, Xbox is dead. I'm like, bro, come on, that's not your wheelhouse.
They don't know video games. They're supposed to know just financials.
Yeah, give me that. Like but they can't say that because Microsoft stock was like at the time that I saw the story, Microsoft stock was like super high. Like the news from the financial perspective was that Microsoft might hit $4 trillion.
Absolutely, and again, they said it was 4% of their global and in the state, staff, right? That were getting laid off. It was a total of 4%. Yes, 9,000 people sounds like a lot, but 4% is not a lot.
Yeah.
It really isn't because they have over 213,000 employees. Okay?
Yeah.
The X division alone has like 35,000 employees. It's not a lot. And they said in managerial spots. So maybe if they have 5 managers taking care of one area, they cut it down to 2 and let go of 3. That makes sense. Why are we paying all this money? And I'm telling you right now, the biggest problem is because they're seeing that other types of developers that are much smaller, like the guys that did Expedition 33, for example, there was a team of 35 or 40 developers, and they created a game that is being critically acclaimed, that has quality, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. The DI is definitely playing a part in Beta. I'm pretty sure as well. They're getting rid of that stuff as well. I'm pretty sure.
Just real quick, Hibot, 100%. If you look at some of the people that are getting cut, because
it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. Yeah. That DEI initiative was forced under the administration last generation, right? Or last administration. So these people are no longer being forced. So now they got to cut out that fat, but they got to do it the right way. But then again, people are making it seem like doom and gloom when the first thing you saw in Phil's post, in Matt Booty's post, these guys are getting compensated. They're not getting laid off. They're getting well taken care of to make sure that they're fine and that their families are okay. Plus, we're extending the help to help them find a new position in another place or within the company in another area in the company. These people are not going to unemployment worrying about how they're going to pay their next paycheck or their next rent or how they're going to pay their mortgage. That's not the way that works. They're going to be very well compensated. Okay, very well compensated because Microsoft is not that distasteful or unclassy. You see what I'm saying? So these people get me the man that says most of these people, they just talk, but they don't act responsible. They don't treat it like what it is. It's business. So they will say, oh yeah, Microsoft laid off all these people. How heartless. How dare they after they just announced that they're making almost 45% revenue was great. Everything was up, blah, 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 blah. But look how they're firing. Listen, if you're not doing your fucking job, 10 years for a development of a game is unacceptable. Would you hire somebody and keep paying them if after 10 years they still haven't produced no money for you? No, you're not going to do that. It's common sense. It is common sense. You cannot do that. Then the word is that game demo that they showed of Perfect Dark, that supposedly wasn't even a real demo, was something that they had created, and they used it just to show the idea of what it's supposed to be, but they were nowhere near in that spectrum. And I'm like, wait a second. So you're telling me that the game, even though the initiative got announced in 2018, we're talking about 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's been almost 9 years. Almost. It's been 8 years exact, almost 9 years that they built the team, and it was only a team of 35, 40 people, which Crystal Dynamics was helping them with the process of the game, and they still did not have an actual game ready to be released sometime next year or the year after. That's not good business. If they probably kept crashing because the word was that they kept on having differences of opinion and they were not like meeting eye to eye. That's been the rambling for a while. Okay,
yeah, that's the part that I kind of liked. I'll be honest with you. Not that in the sense that it'll harm the game, but in the sense of to me that's what the initiative was supposed to be. Like the melding of all these people and then these ideas coming together. And then they were going to come out with a product out of that, something different, something unique. Like they're pressing it as the 4A title, right? The first 4A title from Microsoft. So and then now I'm thinking, this is just me thinking out loud. I'm not saying that I know what I'm talking about, but just speculation. They got the AI component now. They're definitely shifting to AI. And 2020 or next year, 2026 is going to be the year that, because you can see it in the games already. Guys, if you guys haven't noticed it, like I play Towerborn a lot, and some of the switches that they're making in that game, because a lot of times, right, you have to they do an update, right, for the software, right? But sometimes when I'm playing that game, it feels like it's just instantaneous. As far as when you're at certain levels, the characters, some of the goals that you're trying to get, some of the villains, or some of the characters in there, the enemies in there, seem to switch on the fly. And I'm not saying as I'm playing it, but just like from the day before, because I've been playing that game nonstop, brother. Right. And so then I'm in this one stage because I'm going through, I'm trying to collect my stuff so I can buy my skins, or so I can use the trading for my skins. And then all of a sudden the enemies change up.
Listen, right? Sometimes these drastic measures have to be made because it puts the industry and the workers in the industry on check. Because if they can achieve stuff with the ones that are not really taking it serious or taking their sweet time with AI, then why not? And just keep the workers and developers that really care and that have been doing the job. Because like I said, Obsidian, they just acquired them 3-4 years ago, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And Obsidian has already produced like 6 games for Xbox in that time span. So what's the excuse of why Rare, that has a good relationship with Xbox, have been part of the Xbox family for years and years and years and years, why haven't they been able to do one game? Why has it taken them 10 years and still they haven't even showed gameplay? They only showed a teaser trailer.
Who does Grounded? Is that a Rare game?
No, that's also Obsidian.
That's Obsidian.
Yes. Oh, Grounded 2. They're already doing Grounded 2. You get what I'm trying to say?
Got it. I didn't think about
and then again, the initiative, like I said, 5 years ago, and supposedly that wasn't even a proper real gameplay. That was just like a demo they had to show the idea. After 8 years, when you have big professionals that have been in the industry for so long involved with the game, you get what I'm saying? Bro, it makes perfect sense. And on top of that, you know, they're just cutting the areas where they probably had already over-exaggerated positions, like managerial. If there was 5 managers in one position or in one department, they took it down, they trimmed it down, left only 2 or maybe 1. That just makes sense. Because again, when you got people like Obsidian or people like the people who did Expedition 33 or id that did Doom, that is much smaller and much more condensed developers, and yet they produce the quality of game that they're producing at a shorter time with a lesser budget, they're not going to keep doing that. They're not going to, it's either you put up or you got to go. Especially in the times we live in, they can't risk losing money. These guys got investments way too much in too many areas. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that's the one of the reasons I don't lose my mind about this stuff, dude. Is I think that's one of the biggest reasons right now, right? It's because of the economy. I've been talking about on the channel for like a couple of years now, right? About how bad the economy is, and so when you have an economy like we have right now, the issue with having the economy that we have right now, and you guys experience this every day in your lives, right? You don't go and buy like the high grade meat, right? You might take something on sale. You might buy something that's available.
The economy's playing a big part, whether people want to admit it or not. Donald Trump can't fix what happened in 5 months, okay? In the span of 4 years. He can't do that. It's going to take a while. So that's a big part of it. That's number one. Plus, again, the Turn 10 situation, they have 500 employees. I believe it's 5, and they cut it down by half, right? Yeah. So it's about 250 now. The reason why they did that is because nobody wanted the Forza Motorsport franchise to be treated like a gas game. And they said this. They were very, very vocal. Plus, Microsoft didn't bring it out physical. So many people didn't go out and buy it like the way they would normally do, right? So Forza Motorsport has not done as well as previous ones in the past. So you cut it down and get back to the business and make it the way it was, the traditional Forza, with levels and you feed it by giving the DLC as you go along instead of being a gas type style racer. That's not what they wanted. That's not what Forza's been known for. You get what I'm saying? So again, it makes perfect sense, but people don't see that. So if you look at how they and the Sledgehammer team, the other team, that's because those people all work on the same game, Call of Duty. So if they're not producing anything else and they're just going to use them for the same game, just cut it down, make the team smaller, and just keep on letting them do what they do in rotation, making the Call of Duty games. It's just being smart with small business. If a small team, like I said, can make a game with budget and make it quality, and they only have 30 people, how are you not going to be? How can you even justify 500 people on our staff?
I'm losing you, brother.
And we
keep up.
Yeah, I'm here. How can you justify having 500 people on your staff and taking a budget of like 150 million, and yet it's taking you 6 years to develop a game and you're still not done? That's just not acceptable. Sometimes when you have too many cooks in the oven, it doesn't work. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and that's the way, that's the perspective that they're looking at it. The market right now is too saturated. There's too many options, too many games. And your job, you got to take it serious. These people got to stop playing around, stop sipping on martinis. It's time to do the work. Stop bringing out games that you got to constantly keep patching, or that you got to constantly keep on doing extra work as time goes on. No. You got a set time. They give you a few years, 4 years to develop, 5 years, whatever it is. Do what you're supposed to do and have the game done. And that's the problem. They're not doing that. These people think they have the liberty that GTA do or Rockstar. Like, that's the only company that has that freedom, because people let them get away with murder. Okay?
Oh, even Rockstar has been getting like
the only developer, the only one. Ain't nobody else allowed to do that. It's only them. You know what I mean? And that's an anomaly. One developer out of all the hundreds and hundreds of thousands that they are in the gaming industry. That's you're not Rockstar. You got to stop. Because I don't agree with them doing that either. I think Rockstar is just fucking lazy and just take their time because they don't care. They know they can do it. But people let her get away with it. Because as soon as that GTA come out, it's going to sell consoles and it's going to sell in the boatloads. There'll be another 150 million copies sold. You know what I mean? That's just the facts. That's how it is, unfortunately.
Hey, Hiba,
You know?
let me address Invader Gaming really quick.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, hey Invader, thanks for being here, brother. I'll switch to this comment because Invader said, look how many years South of Midnight took. 100% on you. And then I responded back, South of Midnight is an awesome game. And then Invader said, never said it wasn't, but 2016 and 2025 is way too long for a single game. Yeah, 100% Invader. That's I agree with you. But I think the issue is though, is that's what at least from my perspective, right? When Xbox was doing all this and Phil was a little bit more, as we were shifting gears, I think the main thing that happened in Invader was just that the economy. And I like your comment here, bro. Please don't mention economy. I live in Canada. The economy shifted drastically to the point where now, a lot of people, again, I say this all the time. I say this on social media all the time. Gaming is not a necessity. It's something we love. It's a lifestyle for a lot of us. But for most people, and especially people who purport to be gamers, that's not their big. That's why I've been saying on my channel, a lot of these guys aren't gamers, or in my perspective, are not gamers, because gamers would put a priority on gaming, not before your bills. Like you shouldn't do that. Not before your responsibilities. But if it became that, and then you actually, wanting to go to a movie, gamers would choose the latter, or not the latter. They would choose the former. Like I would go gaming all the time. There's very few things that would take me away from gaming, right? And so that's the issue I see that Microsoft is having. Look, it's all fun and games, dude, when you're making money and you have money to spend. But obviously, Microsoft is tightening the belt, and also they're also in flux, right? They're going this AI initiative, right? They just put their chip. I did a video with Dia that was really cool and informative, and they're just going in a different direction. And when Microsoft pulls, everybody has to follow with them, right? And that's the thing I think a lot of people are missing, especially guys in the gaming community, because it's all Microsoft sucks. Microsoft don't know what they're doing. Microsoft is stupid. I mean, they're only like almost a $4 trillion company, right?
Right.
They've been around since forever, and all of a sudden they're dumb, right? Because like I forgot who said it, it might have been you and Vita, but it's all emotionally driven. That's all this thing, and that's something I can't get down with. That's why I don't lose my mind over this kind of stuff. Like me and Hiba, we have one big issue with Microsoft, well, two big issues with Xbox and Microsoft right now that a lot of the guys get mad. A lot of the people in the gaming community get mad at us about. But it's the issue that bothers us the most, right? And so when this stuff hits, I'm kind of like, well, okay, I'm trying to be sympathetic, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people, because when this, of course, you want people that want to get the clicks, wants the views. People have their opinions, they want to voice it. But if you just listen to them, dude, they don't play games. They're not gamers. Like for me personally, I don't see anybody talking about Towerborn on a level that when me and Hiba were I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, Invader. When we were coming up, dude, like games like that's all people talked about. Hey, did you play this game and why you like it? You can get into the deep dive about it. Then of course the complaints will come in, right? Because we're gamers. We're like, if they would do this, or I wish they would add this, stuff like that.
Dude, it's the new age Guardian Heroes. Like, you got to be kidding me. The game is Guardian Heroes 2.0. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody loved Guardian Heroes at that time, and it was on the underrated console of the time, but it was still talked about because the game was fantastic.
And that's why you see a lot of the stuff that comes out from Xbox, because there's this drive for Phil and the crew to put out this content. And just like Sega back in the day, that was the driving force, was the content, was the games. Even the services that people are starting to complain about, right? It's the nature of the beast, number one, right? Number two, it's the direction that the whether you agree or disagree, it's the direction that the industry is going in. And I'm not saying you have to agree with that, but that's the reality of it. So better to deal with it on the reality of what you got to face, like me and Hebot are doing with the whole digital stuff, right? Or with the whole, what they're doing with their digital product. Now I say they're way better than most people. I'll say that much, right? That's why I still would buy from them. right? But sometimes in these situations, you have to make the adjustments for yourself, right? Um, Invader's like, yeah, Invader, but no. So like, so please don't misunderstand me. Yeah, it took a long time. My daughter was the one complaining the most because she likes the game that they did before South of Midnight. We Happy Few. She loves that game. She's played
Mm-hmm.
that. She played it through multiple times because she loves the environment. She loves the art. She loves the music, especially, right? All of that. And so she was really looking forward to the game. But over time, like Ebot is saying, I understand giving people the time, and I'm never one. Look, I'm on to the indie stuff. I love the creative nature. I think you can't rush it, but at the same time, like you said, Invader, that's a long time. And like Hebot was saying, for some of these games, dude, there was 9 years. What was it, like 8 or 9 years? You said Hebot in the making. Um, and look, Microsoft has
You
deep
mean
pockets.
for Everwild? For
Yeah, how long?
Everwild?
Yeah, how long
In
was
10
it?
years in development. And
10 years. That's
they
crazy.
showed it to us, I think it was in 2018, 2019. But it was been in development, according to what was said, for 10 years.
Right.
10 years is unacceptable, bro. It just isn't. Like, come on, bro. Like, these people are getting paid and then not produce them back and made them back any money. And you
You know,
really, and then
and
the
you know
thing
what?
is, the game is probably nowhere near done. So when they probably ask up top, when they have to report, 'cause remember Phil said in the interview, at the end of the day, we still got to report to Satya, such and such and such and such, because they're the ones who give us the freedom and financials to do what we got to do. So what they
Yeah.
probably want to say,
So
listen, so when is the game going to be done? I'm assuming, right, in the meeting, it was like, so when is it going to be done? Oh, they need about another 2 or 3 years. Oh, no, absolutely not. Cut it off. Enough. 10
no.
years is
So
enough.
you remember what happened with Scalebound, right? And I'm surprised
Right?
nobody's bringing up Scalebound. I have yet to
Uh,
see somebody bring up Scalebound. That's probably going to happen tomorrow or Monday,
maybe,
right?
maybe.
But
I'll bring
keep
it
this
up.
in mind, guys. If you guys are Xbox guys, keep this in mind. There are very few companies that can do what Microsoft does.
Oh, absolutely. Look at
Oh my
Fable.
God, dude. Don't
Remember
look
Fable
at it like
Legends? Remember Fable Legends?
Fable Legends.
75 million invested, and then everybody was like, "I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it." Especially the Fable fans. And what they said, "Okay, cut it off," and they started from scratch again. That's what
Man, I think
Microsoft
me and
do.
I think me and E-Rock were the only two guys that like that game. 'Cause I love that game.
Oh no, I
I've
liked it.
played
I
it all the
liked the
time.
demo. I thought it was.
But we
I thought it
did
was.
it.
I
I
thought it was
thought it was
gorgeous. Yeah. I thought it was.
Ironically, it was much like Sega did back in the day. It was showing the future. It was way ahead of its time. Because look at what we have now, right?
I like it. I
Look at the
like the
way people
look
make
of.
it.
I like the look of Fable Legends more so than the new one because it had more of a majestic, kind of elf-like, worldly-like feel in the
Yeah,
in the one that we're doing with Legions or Legends was it? No, Fable Legends, right? I think it was.
Fable Legends.
Mhm. The only thing is that every character you pick has specific attributes, and I think that's what pissed people off. They wanted it to be where it's the main character, and you can get any type of attribute, weapons, or powers as you use it. But I thought it was great. It was gorgeous. It looked phenomenal.
And look, guys, we're not sitting here telling you guys can't be disappointed. We get it, dude. When Yu Suzuki, when they came out with Shenmue, and I was
Hmm.
expecting, I followed. I was like, yeah, okay, 18 chapters, I'm down, right?
Hmm.
Right. And then that never happened. And then you got something up his butt with Microsoft, right? And so that disappointed me. It disappointed me so much, guys. I never touched a Yakuza game. I never touched a
Hmm.
Yakuza game until it came
Hmm.
over to Xbox. Then I
Right.
played it and I was like, okay. So enough time had passed for me for my for my wounds to heal. Right?
No,
But I
stop
get it,
lying.
guys.
You know why you
Yeah.
played it because it's finally on Xbox. You weren't gonna play that shit on no PlayStation. Say the truth.
And plus it bothered me because it was basically they just took parts of Shenmue and made that game.
Yeah, yeah, they absolutely did. Absolutely, they did. They
So I'm
cut off
not
Yu
saying,
Suzuki.
yeah,
They basically what Sega did, and I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Forgive me.
no,
They
no, yeah,
basically cut off Yu Suzuki to not pay him what they own him because they owed him royalties. Remember that,
yeah,
and that's what he went to
yeah.
court for them. And
And then
to
shout out
cut
to
them
you.
off, and then went and did like their own version, and with time try to make it better and better because they used that money for their own game. It was their own property at that time because Suzuki was the owner of Shenmue. It wasn't Sega
Right,
of the IP.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Which is sad, but that's what they did.
Yeah, and that's the reality, guys. So we get it. We get it. Okay, we know. There's probably some people that that are disappointed. I see the comments. Right, I take time to read the comments. Right, there's people that actually are looking forward to that game.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
like
oh yeah.
anything else. Like there's a movie going to come out. You look forward to it. It gets canceled. right? Like you
Oh
hear like
yeah.
Superman coming out, dude. There's a lot of stuff going on about Superman. I'm not a DC guy. I leave that more in limited them's wheelhouse. But I see the chatter online, dude. Right?
But
Positive,
but
negative. Some
but
people not sure.
but my brother, look how many games have gotten canceled. The Black Panther game, the Wonder Woman game, the one that was being done by not Amy Hennig is the other one. I don't know if it was Captain America. It was one of those. The Iron Man game, the Wild, the PlayStation 5, PlayStation had that game, The Wild, that was supposed to come out, that got canceled. The game called Eco, that got canceled. The other game they had that got canceled, which was Deep Down from Capcom. This
Yeah.
happens all the time. This is nothing
Yeah,
new.
it's happening.
Eh,
It's happening
The
right now.
Jade Raymond game. The Jade Raymond, didn't she just leave and got canceled? Didn't they cancel 10 more live as a service game? Isn't
Yeah, Sony.
Marathon on Jeopardy on the verge of being canceled too? Like, bro, it's only when Xbox says something that is, oh my god, the world is gonna end. Stop.
Yeah, so if you guys
Stop.
want to take the negative to a positive, just ask yourself, why is it always Microsoft? This stuff is happening across the industry, right? Like
Oh
Heba said earlier, dude, there's so many games out there. That's another thing you guys got to take into consideration. Instead
yeah,
of worrying
yeah.
about what you're not getting sometimes, you got to look at what you have, right?
What
And
you
like right
do
now,
have
I'm playing,
that they
what we do have.
ignore. Mhm.
So I'm playing my Return to Moria, which is a Lord of the Rings game. I'm engrossed in that game, right? Because
Mhm.
and that's what I'm talking about, dude. Sometimes you just got to play your games, guys. Shout out to Unlimited Productions. But sometimes you just play your games and all of this stuff goes away.
Yeah,
Right?
it's true.
Because
It's true.
you
I've
know
been
why? You know why? Because these other guys that talk about this stuff, they don't play games. They're not
when
playing
I've
their
been
game.
playing when I've been playing games more recently, I haven't really done have time to do videos because I've been not feeling well and
I
playing
saw
games.
the
Dude,
GI
I'm having
Joe.
a blast.
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
having a
that you did
blast.
GI Joe, brother. You did a GI
Yeah,
Joe with your
I
son.
was playing with my son. Playing with my
Yeah,
son. It was fun, man. It was having a good
watch
time.
that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it
You
real quick.
And, and just a small clip, but I was just to show how fun GI Joe was, and people didn't go play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that Karate Kid game from when they relaunched the series. I was
Hmm.
addicted to that Karate Kid game. I was like, man, this game is way better than it should be.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Even
so
though
guys,
the one
why
that
don't you hear? But why don't you guys hear conversations like that on these people's channels?
no, they don't.
Yeah, because they don't
Don't
play the games. And I'm guilty too,
they
but
don't.
like at least in defense of me and Hebot, as you can see, Hebot's on the go, right? I just happen to be off today, right? Look, to be honest with you, we got stuff we got to do. If I, you know what, you know how people win this lottery and they're just gonna be like, I'm gonna go fly around the world, I'm gonna do this and that. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the best connection in my house, and I'm gonna make it a point to beat all my games. That's gonna be
Mhm.
that's what I would do, right? Because we're gamers at the end of the
Dude, even if Xbox, let's say in theory or hypothetically, closed down next week, I have so many fucking games that it's gonna last me another 20 years, 30 years.
day. Yeah.
I got more than enough games to play. And I'm talking about even old stuff that I never played. There's just so many games. The backlog catalog is at least 100,000 games. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like people don't understand that because they only want to play a specific thing or whatever's cool or whatever's hip at the moment. No, that's not gaming. When you play games and you're a gamer, you play whatever's good that's out there, no matter what it is, indie, triple A, double A. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's not even me counting that I don't play a bunch of genres like RTSs, right? I don't like strategy games. I don't like puzzle games. I don't like games that are coin and click like Myst. I don't really like those. And I still got a plethora of games I could play. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'll tell you this, man. The moves that Microsoft made, and especially with Game Pass, a lot of you guys are getting exposed. Not the guys in our group, because I know you guys are
Mhm.
gamers, right? But there's a lot of people in the industry right now that purport themselves to be gamers that are getting absolutely exposed right now, right?
Mhm.
You find out that a lot of these people don't. When you're a gamer, dude, you tend to like Hebot says, like there's a game that just dropped, something Storm, right? It's an RTS. It looks interesting. That I'm gonna at least try it, right? Though
Yes.
and what it is I'm not good at RTS. It's not that I don't
Give
like
me a
it,
second,
but I'm
brother.
just not good at it. There's so much thinking at the end of the day sometimes, right? With these games, but it looks so interesting that like Halo, like because I love Halo, dude. I played the Halo RTSs, right? Not good at it, but my point being is that you have so much variety now with a lot of these games, right? That most people that are gamers, even though they might not like something, right, would at least try it. Like Sega Man says this all the time. Sega Man says it's in Game Pass. I'm gonna at least try it. And the reason why you do that, because even though it's not your cup of tea, you might miss out on that experience. And at the end of the day, that's what a gamer is all about when it comes to gaming. It's kind of good for me, like that this happened. I'm not trying to downplay any of this stuff, and these people are dumb. But what I'm saying is, like, now, as you guys can tell, dude, I've been like in a little bit of a funk with Xbox because of the way I've been feeling. But you have something like this comes around, and it woke me up, right, to what's going on. Because I do feel bad because there's only one company right now, whether I agree or you agree or whatever, but there's only one company that's doing right by the gaming industry right now, and that's Xbox, with Microsoft and Xbox. That's it. Again, they might do stuff that you might not agree with, right? But like people are excited today because I saw that they're Helldivers 2, which is well, I guess that was on PlayStation, right, guys? I don't really keep up with PlayStation. I heard the name of it. I heard it was good. The reason I heard about it is because it's like Starship Troopers or something like that, and I love that series. In fact, I've even gone read the books, not read the books, but audiobook the collection of books. Man, really great stuff. And so, at the end of the day, oh sorry guys, hey, what's up, Mr. Kimo? Let me do the. Oh, sorry. Invader Gaming says good conversation today. I wish more shows had this. Yeah, Invader. We're kind of old school, me and Hebot, and thanks for being here and adding to it, because that's one thing we love about the chat. Because a lot of us, and not just because we all think of, I mean, we have disagreements as well. I'm pretty sure, right? But at the end of the day, dude, we're gamers, and that's what matters. That's what's really winning right now. I know times are tough, man. Financially, the industry has to tighten their belt like every other place out there, which is something we'll talk about too, because we got to focus on the economy again, just to give you guys a bigger perspective. Mr. Kimo, what's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. As well as Anthony Chipmunk says, facts, Hebot. Yeah, Hebot. He's muted right now. He's on the move, but he'll be back in. But again, guys, keep in mind right now, dude, Microsoft is a huge company. They have a lot of money. Like I said, their stock is up, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on with these businesses and stuff like that. To me, that's what you should ultra focus on, right? The stuff that's happening with Xbox is happening all over the place, right? Let's just go do a search. The other day I did a search, and Amazon's laying off 20,000, possibly 20,000 of its workers as they're shifting, right? Then of course I know a lot of you guys keep up with what's going on with AI, what's going on politically with the tariffs, all of this stuff, right? And so we're in flux right now. And companies, when they're in flux, dude, they have to look at things a little bit more closely. The same thing that we do every day, or at least I do. Some people I know maybe have a better situation than others. And I'm not saying that you're rich. What I'm saying is maybe you live in an area that, like for me, one thing that helps me is I already own my house. Right, the house that I have did a 15-year mortgage, got a good interest rate. I paid a little bit more, but it cut down on the interest overall in the house. And I live in a pretty expensive state, so that I have to factor in. Some of you guys might own your house, live in a low cost of living area, right? Like where I live, a lot of people are moving to other states because it's easier for them to survive. And I'm not saying I'm living high off the hog. I just got to budget my stuff, right? So all the stuff that these companies are doing, dude, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys feel it every day. Like you just can't go out and buy every single game. Like ID and Xbox dropped. There's 5 games they dropped that I want to buy. And one of them is this helicopter game that reminds me of Desert Strike, right? So it's definitely probably a game that those guys probably love that game. When EA used to do more than just sports games, their Strike series was like my favorite series that they made. And so it looks like a tribute to that. And of course, with their own little tweaks. And I could be wrong. Maybe they never played that game, but that's what it reminds me of when I see it. It's like, I think it's like on sale right now for $17, $14. I'm going to buy it, right? Probably shouldn't be buying it, but I'm going to buy it. But yeah, but I just can't buy every single thing. When you have kids, you have responsibilities, you got bills you got to pay. That's just the reality of it, and everything is just more expensive. So keep that in mind too with a lot of these companies, right? Insurance is more, labor costs are more, right? And then when your overhead is higher than what you're pulling in, that's when a lot of these decisions are made. And again, I'm not saying it's right. I feel for the people. Right, I agree with you. But all of this stuff is some of it's just not a necessity. But what I'll tell you, what I'll tell you. Oh, hello, Hiba.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, okay. No, I got you. But what I am saying is exactly like just keep this in mind. There's very few companies that can do this kind of stuff and still survive. and your the console of choice is made by one of those such companies. That's the reality of it. What's up, brother? Oh, okay. See, well, he must not heard it.
I'm paying the bills. I'm getting the money order for the rent. It's 2,400. Whoever wants to pay for me, let me know.
Damn, dude. Nope.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta go. Same to you, love. Happy 4th of July. Take care. Yeah, brother. Go ahead. Like you were saying.
No, just the economy, dude. It matters, and people need to wake up to
Oh
that.
yeah, it does. Look at everybody that's getting hit. Just look at all the companies getting. Listen, I was blown away. My mind was blown away when I found
Oh,
out
brother,
about our brother.
real quick,
About,
Hiba, just go ahead. I'll be right back. Okay, go ahead. I'll be right back.
yeah. Everybody's getting hit. Sorry, man. Excuse me. And it's unfortunate. It is an unfortunate situation for everybody. But the good thing is that these people that do work in big companies and corporations, in most cases, I would say about 90%, they're going to get compensated and have a good severance package for their, layoff or for being let go, whatever the case may be. They're going to get taken care of for a nice substantial amount of time. And that's the positive side of it, right? And in the Xbox case, the nice thing is that you saw people like Pete Hines and people like Phil state in their statements that if they need any kind of help in order to relocate to a new job or relocate within Microsoft or Xbox themselves for another position in another department, that they would be more than willing to do that as well, which is also a very nice thing. So when people say, oh, that it's all doom and gloom, they don't care of people's lives, their livelihood. No, that's not how that is. That is very far away from the truth or the facts. And it's a shame that you have so many influencers out here, media, websites that should have some type of discrepancy and, some sense of honor of being respectful, being truthful to their viewers or their followers, and give all the details and not make it seem like it's all doom and gloom or like it's completely hell and mayhem and havoc. Because that's what real people that have credibility or respectability to what they do or themselves supposed to do. And that's what rubs me in particular the wrong way, because you see all these people have a platform, have viewership, have support. Meanwhile, people like Invader, myself, and Sega Forever, that we've been doing this for so long from the actual love of gaming and know what we're saying and we'll talk the facts about it. We don't get that support. E-Rock, people like Unlimited, right? Even people like Sega Man, Sega Forever, Tuckmaster. The list goes on and on. Our brother New Legal, even, we're still struggling, even though we've done thousands and thousands of videos and uploading, constantly doing positive things. And the only people that support us are the ones that always been there since day one, that know that we're not disingenuous, like people like Anthony Chipmunk, right? That always comes by and stops by. We are grateful for you guys, because without you guys, we can't do what we do. But it's a shame that we got people out there like Dreamcast Guy, like Reforged Gaming, right? Like Rich Review Tech, that he rebranded himself, like Angry Video Game Nerd, or Angry Joe, rather. That just do the content, but they do it to get views and clicks. They don't do it for the love of what they're doing. They don't really do it for the knowledge that they know and the history from the gaming space or the gaming industry. No, not at all. You know what I mean? It's all about, I don't give a fuck. We're just going to do what we got to do because we got to get that bag. Listen, there's nothing wrong with getting the bag, being honest, being truthful, and having some fucking respect for your viewers and yourself. Like, that's why I don't watch them, guys. Like, as soon as I see that, oh, he's just clickbait. No, never mind. I don't even bother. So I don't know why most more people are not like that. I don't want to go to the channel to see or get information from someone that claims to be there for us or that care for us, right? Or for the gaming space, for example, in this case. And the reality is they don't. They're just trying to make money. That's not cool. That's just so, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then, I get looked at as a toxic, inappropriate or unprofessional person. When I'm not that at all, I'm completely coherent, try to be well spoken, well mannered as much as possible, right? As much as my grammar allows me to do on a daily basis. I treat people with respect as long as they respect me back. And I'm looked at as, oh, this guy's just toxic. This guy's just a clown. This guy don't know shit. He just wants to be against the grind. No, you don't have to be a follower in this world. You have to be a leader. But you a follower, that means you never have your own mindset, your own thought process. That's why when I see those people, all these people doing these content, especially places like Forbes and the Time, New York Times, like, bro, you guys are disgusting. Like, get the hell out of here. You don't know nothing about gaming or the industry or the history. Stop trying to act like you know and then say something stupid as Xbox is dead, Nintendo's going to kill everyone, or Sony's the best. Look at how they know how to take care of this or take care of that. But they don't know shit. Because when you go look at their stocks, their numbers, Sony is still in the red. They're still paying back pay to stay alive. When you look at Nintendo, they stay within their margin. They don't get out of the box. They don't take big risks. That's why they stay safe. The only person that's actually trying to take big risk, make some big moves, big time changes, big type of innovations is Microsoft. They're the only ones. And that's why I said I can respect them for that. And I can respect them for the fact that they respect their consumers because they gave you a lot of value and options. Are you there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you are there. Give me 1 second. I got to speak to my wife real quick. I'm in the car. Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. 100%, man. Good stuff. 100%. A lot of these guys, just be mindful who you listen to. I don't know, as far as the chat, you guys are. I'm just saying, if anybody comes across this video, wondering what's going on, see that we're pro Xbox. That's the reality of it, man. There's a lot of the people just talking about things that don't know what they're talking about. And again, it's okay to have an opinion, man. You want to comment on it and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, when you listen to the video, it's the same thing over. It's the same information being recycled because a lot of these guys are getting their information from the media, and like any other media, mainstream or gaming, entertainment, even. Man. You got these guys. There's only so much you can draw from. We come from a different time when we didn't have all this stuff. So people that reported on these things were actual gamers, and they loved the industry. They had critiques on it, right? But because the industry was in a different place, it was growing. But still, that excitement is what drove it, right? The fact that they were gamers, that they enjoyed playing games is what drove it. A lot of times, a lot of this stuff is just prepackaged, put out there, and then for you guys to, and then you guys are forced to dissect it. That's why sometimes it's just better just to disconnect, right? So that you don't have to do that. Because you don't have to do that. That's what you have to do now. You can't, that's what I do. Again, this is why I haven't been doing a lot of political video, because it's just been happening so much. There's so much stuff going on in the world right now. It's hard to keep up. And I would rather not put out anything than be wrong when it comes to politics. Now, I can opine about stuff like this, but again, things happen so fast. We're in a time where there's multiple things going on at the same time.
Absolutely. And in the industry's always ever changing.
Yeah.
In the era where we grew up, the industry did not change the way that it changes now. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. It was like back in the day when a movie came out, you would have maybe 40 movies come out 1 year, and they would stay at the theater for like a whole year. Like Star Wars was in the movie theaters for like a whole year.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like that now. Like that. It's every week it's new movies coming out, and they stay in the theaters for like a week. If they don't do well, they take them out, and then you got new movies again the next week. We live in a life, in a society where everything is like Speed Racer. It's just constantly, this, constantly trying to feed you content, where it's so much content that you overlook what's actually good, what's actually worthy, what's actually worth your time. Because there's so much shit putting out there at one time that you can't watch it all. It's impossible. You know how many people back it was like when we first all started doing Xbox content, that more people started to grow and come out. It was hard to watch everybody and support everybody. They almost felt like, so you're giving favoritism to Sega forever, but not Sega Man. No, it's impossible, because when you got 100 videos for 100 people that you talk to, that you can't possibly support them all at once if they're all doing constant videos or consistent, content. How many times I've been telling you, damn, Sega forever, I am so sorry. I didn't even know you did this video. I didn't know you did that video. I got to catch up. I got to watch it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And that's being honest with you, because I respect you. You're my colleague. You're my brother. You're my good friend. So clearly, if I haven't watched your stuff, you're gonna feel like, oh, maybe he doesn't care about my stuff. You know what I mean?
Because I'm in the same boat with the stuff that I love, dude. There's stuff that I like to do that I can't keep up with. This is why it's a waste of time to worry about the stuff that you don't like or the stuff that's irritating, right? Yeah, that's not even a thing for me. Like, it's just like I would rather, again, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. Me and my daughter, she wanted to watch it as well. We watched it, absolutely loved the movie, dude. And we loved it so much that we watched it again, right? So I'd rather take my time doing that than focusing on, how many, like as soon as all this stuff happened, Xbox dies. Xbox is dead. Xbox is dead. How many times is Xbox going to die, dude? Like, it's just like 12 times in a row. Dude, they almost got the amount of times that Xbox said to be dead, dude. I think they got as much championships as the Celtics do. Right. The Raptors installed like 16 NBA titles. Right. At some point in time, Xbox is going to surpass that because every time something happens, dude, it's like, again, like I say, the sky is falling. Right. Hey, Big B Money, what's up, brother? Who is that supposed? I see the owl, dude. He said who. Thanks for being here, bro. If you have any questions, man, yeah, just put it out there in the chat. Just me and Hebat. We'll go for about another 15, 20 minutes. Then I got a jet. I got an appointment.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Oh no, I'm gonna have to go soon. I got an appointment, so.
Oh, I got you. That's fine. I understand. I mean, I'm glad that we were able to just chime in real quick because we could go more deep dive when you do the wrecking crew, obviously. But
yeah, I'll do it. I'll let you know before. And I'll just send you the link.
Because, I would love to give my perspective of why I did the video with Laura Flyer because what I just don't like is it came off as she was just a bitter woman because she got fired from Xbox and now is trying to use her platform to grow it no matter what she's doing because she don't have her hands.
I guess it didn't bother me on that level because I'm a bitter old dude, so I could kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? I've been like talking about certain things with Xbox that I don't like that they're doing, and I get it, dude. I'm old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like when I play something like a Towerborn, and then just the way gamers are and the way they play games now is just totally different from how we grew up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100%.
I feel it like how when I get up in the morning, you feel it in your bones. So I guess that's the person. Plus, I didn't look at it in that way, the way she because to me I looked at her.
I knew she did the video like in a form of concern, right? Because of Xbox not having the same identity they had before, which is the way that me and you have been talking about for months. That it doesn't feel like an Xbox is representing the console anymore. It's just an ecosystem, right? And why it doesn't feel the same and why it sucks that it doesn't feel the same. But the difference is that we don't go around saying lies like, oh, Xbox is going to stop making consoles because they partnered up with Asus to do a handheld. No, that's genius. You let someone else take up the cost, see how the market does, and then you can do your own or introduce your own. Because the market for the Rogue Ally and the Asus and the Steam Deck is only 4%. Look it up. It's out there. It's public record. 4%.
It's not outside of the norm that Xbox has been doing. Hey, Unlimited, what's up, brother?
Hey,
Unlimited, brother.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you? Hey, I'm so sorry to hear to what happened. I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm so sorry, dude. I didn't even realize. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Hey, man.
I am so sorry, dude. Especially, since you have done some really, really massive, important decisions recently. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And that just the first thing I thought when you said that with Xbox, I was like, oh my God. You see that there's other people that have certain situations that are way worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look, man, Microsoft, they're going to take care of their guys, man. So,
Exactly.
Look, listen. If you want to get laid off by Microsoft because they got every resource in the book.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. You're going to be all right for a little while.
Either.
So what's up, brother, man? You got any? I know that this news has been going on.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure you had some commentary. I mean, it was so.
Yeah, I fully admit I am behind the times on the big news. For example, I didn't know about that lady until I watched Hebot's video. By the way, great video, right? So I'm super out of touch. Even then, I didn't actually watch that lady's video yet.
Things going on too, brother. That's the difference.
Yeah,
true.
True, yeah, but so a lot kind of behind the times on the big news going on. I did see, but even I saw unfortunately, Dark got canceled. A game I was really looking forward to.
Yeah, I know.
When it was showed in 2023, that was one of my top games of that showcase. I was blown away by it. So and then not only that, it was a new studio. It was supposed to be a quote unquote quadruple A game. Like the hype behind it was legit. So I was reading, I think it was in development for 7 years, and it sucks that a 7-year project doesn't produce any real results other than a canceled game. Man, I really wish that game saw fruition, man. I really did. And of course, this is just me. Same with Everwild, because I'm not a Sea of Thieves fan. I fully admit that. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan of like Call of Duty. I don't really play games like that. So the games that get me are your Outer Worlds, Avoweds, Perfect Darks, and Everwild, stuff like that. Hi-Fi Rush, South of Midnight. Those are the games that I prefer, and those ones I tend to play the most and enjoy the most. So whenever a game like that gets canceled, especially multiple, it always sucks for me. Now full context, this is, it's just how shit is right now. This isn't like how Sony canceled literally a dozen games, and nobody claims they're dying or dead or anything.
yeah,
But it's still unfortunate as a gamer
right.
that and look, I got to live off Game Pass for a while, right? So Game Pass,
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So I need Game Pass, man, and I really want these games to hit, man. So that part sucks. As for the rest, to me, it's just noise, man. It's just noise because look, next generation is going to be here, maybe a year and a half, 2 years away, depending on when these consoles going to be revealed and released. So that tells me that people are getting ready to get fired up, right? And they're going to get fired up. And the most obvious way to get fired up is to say Xbox is dead. I mean, it's a cliche at this moment.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And by the way, and it's never the only people who are ever nuanced about it are guys like you and Hebot, right? Who have your concerns and how you wish things were going. But everybody else, it seems like they just have the most extreme reaction. And they go full 100% nonsense with it, and then you just come to conclusions like you don't know what you're talking about. You don't play on Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing to me, and I can't speak for that lady video. Like I said, didn't watch it. So I just, the only context I have is Hebot's video, right? So to me, Sega Forever and Hebot. Whenever I hear Xbox is dead, to me that just tells me you don't play on Xbox. You don't actually know what's going on. I don't care. This is going to sound crazy, but I don't even care if a former employee, because you're a former employee. You don't know what's going on there right now. You know what I'm saying? So even when a former employee, because I've been seeing some articles, again, didn't really read them, but the headlines like former employees saying that Xbox is in trouble or some nonsense like that, right? Oh man, I hate that Hebot dropped. I want to hear.
Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He's on the go as usual.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot, man. He be pushing his product around New Jersey up there. But
also, I know you said you didn't watch the video, but
Mhm.
she puts her biases out there.
Okay.
In the video. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, at least she did that,
Yeah. Like she's not like these, like the PlayStation guys would be sniping. Right?
Yeah. The guys who are never going to play Perfect Dark, who are going to hate on it, the moment it was released, are all of a sudden pretending to care. And
unless they came to PlayStation, then they would praise it, but then not buy it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, that's the playbook right there.
Oh,
that's the playbook. That's what they do with their own games. They praise it and don't buy it.
Yeah, Helldivers 2. I guess it's coming to Xbox now.
Saw that a few minutes ago. Put that in the group chat, man. It's coming to Xbox in August. And by the way, and then and every time this happens, they say the same thing. Oh, well, it's not the single player stuff; it's just the multiplayer. And all I say is wait and see. You guys stop saying shit definitively. If the last 5 years have got to teach us to stop saying that something's never going to happen, because you're going to get proven wrong eventually.
Yeah, your track record is off.
Yeah.
Let me do Cygnus real. Cygnus, I think they said Xbox is dead. They're talking about the traditional console aspect of it. 100% Cygnus. I mean, I admit it, dude. I have my panties in a bunch. I have to change my tampon, right? Because that's been bugging me, right? But I put it too. It's been bugging me. So I kind of needed this, man. I'd be like, oh, okay, here we go, and then the bleed green comes out a little bit more. So, but I get it, Cygnus. And,
yeah. I get it too. I get it too. Last time I did a podcast, talk with the chat, and we talked about the similar concerns, right? Where there's a lot of what ifs with this strategy. Especially since first of all, we're going to care about the console first and foremost. Everything else is just a benefit, a pro, right? So some people who follow me noticed that I was playing Spider-Man on my PC, right? Because Xbox, you could now and so because I'm over here, right? I'm like, all right, let me see how deep this is going to go, right? And now that I actually got free time to play video games, I'm not going. That's the only good thing about my situation, right? Is that I got free time to play everything now, right?
Yeah.
And so, so I was playing. Some people hit me up, done message me on Xbox. Oh, I see what you're playing, right? Got that Spider-Man going. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing Spider-Man over here.
Yeah, because you're a gamer, bro. At the end of the day, you're a gamer. That's what it matters.
Yeah, and I just like the idea that my like I was saying to them, oh yeah, my Xbox plays PlayStation games now, right? Talking about my PC because that's how Xbox been marketing it, So yeah.
Imagine when Steam hits, dude.
Yeah,
it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that integration, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I've made peace with some of the stuff that the console aspects, the games going elsewhere. I've made peace with it. That's what they're going to do. That's what they want to do. I can't stop them, right? So I'm like, all right. Let's and by the way, the games are still great. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It would be one thing, Sega Forever, if we were getting nothing, right? No games. Game Pass wasn't releasing stuff every day or every week. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, what are you doing, Xbox? But since the games are there and there's just no shortage of games to play and all that stuff, I could swallow it. I could swallow my pride on this one. And I'm still excited to see what they do with the next console and see what they do going forward. It's interesting strategy, you know what I'm saying? Controversial, very different. And Sony's just going to follow suit anyway in a few years after all this. So get used to it. Even those who might come and say, "Oh, that Sony's never going to do that." Yeah, I've heard Sony's never going to do a lot of things that they're doing right now.
Yeah, not Sony.
Yeah.
And then it's funny now. It's so bad now. Like a couple days later, right? That they're wrong. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
You guys really need to rethink your. Where you guys are playing your games,
right? And listen, I know they're going to. And by the way, even some of the single player stuff has hit Xbox, like Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So don't tell me that even the single player games won't go there. You'll never know what's going on behind the scenes.
I think that's what irritated me the most because you could be disappointed. Like that's why I like what you said, bro. 100%, man. Because you're looking forward to it, dude. If Fable was crushed, dude, I'd be dead.
Yes.
Like I would have been. That would have really set me up. I'd be disappointed.
But that might be the rare time I actually go off on Xbox. It feels
I would not be happy.
No.
With that being said, though, exactly what you just said, right? I'm struggling because ID at Xbox dropped over the last 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think they dropped like 100 games.
They
dropped like 15 games or something like that. Out of those 15 games, 10 of them are interesting to me. 5 of them I want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But because of the tough economic times that we live in, and look, dude, you guys be like, "Oh man, how bad can it be, bro?" Look,
it's rough out there, man.
It's rough out there, dude. When I go get a combo number 1 from McDonald's, right? I stopped going to McDonald's.
Yes,
now, I live in Hawaii now. Where you guys live is probably cheaper.
Yeah, look,
that bad boy like $15.
Look. My state's considered one of the more affordable states. And the other day, I was talking to somebody. She was bitching about complaining about McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's inescapable right now, man.
Yeah,
it just is.
Yeah, and also got to realize, dude, that when these prices rise across the board, this is why when you have something like Game Pass, right, what you pay for, you guys pay for Game Pass, right?
Yes.
I think this is one of the things that we can talk about it on the Wrecking Crew. I want to do one this weekend, Unlimited. We can talk about this in more detail. I think this is one of the reasons why Microsoft is kind of scaling back,
Mm-hmm.
not because they're in trouble, right? Because this is what businesses like Microsoft them do.
Yep.
This is why they have trillions of dollars. And but I think what they're looking at is that maybe they didn't hit certain milestones. With their company,
Yeah.
where they want it to be. And a lot of them guys is not mismanagement, dude. It's just the economy. I'm telling you guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want, dude, there's videos. I talked about this in this other video I did. Bro, there's people doing full-on videos right now talking about the cost of living.
Yes.
Paying rent, living with their parents,
Mm-hmm.
Going into the store to buy 3 items and coming up paying $40.
Yeah.
This stuff is real.
Yeah, and gaming is a luxury.
Yeah, it's a luxury.
And
without air, you die. Without gaming, you'll probably be less happy.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you play on PlayStation, then you'll be more happy because you realize, oh shit, I actually could talk to other people. Wow, instead of playing their boring ass games.
Dude, I know the economy's bad because I go fill up gas in Costco, and there'd be like BMWs and Porsches. They're right next to that junk alarm car. That's how they're about to fall apart. Waiting right behind them. So that's how And again, this is just to give you guys perspective, dude. Nobody's bulletproof.
Yeah.
In this economy, man. I wrote this on my X the other day, Unlimited, because people was talking about Microsoft is dead. Microsoft is dead. So, dude, I work for the federal government. They laid off 275,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And we still pay taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
So perspective, right? Microsoft, like Kibat said earlier, Microsoft is a big company with a lot of employees. And I'm not saying I get it, dude. I don't like anybody going through that. I don't. Right? But perspective, guys, it'll help you, right? It'll help you. So you guys don't make these emotional decisions that, like some of these dudes, right? They went and sold their Xboxes, right? And then they have to go back and buy it. Right? Which is ridiculous, dude. I'm like, the great thing about this economy is that you guys won't be able to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Keep those boxes, because if you sell them, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, you're gonna be out of luck. Look, I know people have been talking about that new handheld price. I'm like, look, that thing gonna be expensive, guys. Just look at the price of the ROG Ally X. It's gonna be the similar price to that. So, just a warning. You better start saving now if you really want it day one, or just watch YouTube videos about it.
So just keep this in mind, guys. Everybody's going with the coach mentality, not the Walmart mentality. A lot of businesses are going with that coach mentality. So instead of getting the 10,000 people that they want to sell to at a cheaper price, they're going for the 1,000 people at a higher price. That's what's going on. So keep that in mind. So you guys gonna like me. That's why I'm telling you, this stuff is exposing these guys that say they're gamers, dude. If you're a gamer, dude, you're gonna suck it up and do what you need to do. I'm not saying you got to go out and buy every game. But I mean, if this is what you like to do, right? Like if you're an old guy like me and you still like to go shoot hoops, you got to buy the wraps. You got to put on the braces. You got to look like like you're an invalid, just to shoot some free throws. But if you love something, you'll do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what you're faced with right now. Until things turn around, right? Or if they turn around, I don't know.
Yeah.
This world is this is another reason why this bothers me, because I'm like, all right, okay, well, at least my kids aren't going to World War III. You know what I'm saying? So that's a plus.
Yeah.
So the only war I want to be playing and my kids want to be playing is Call of Duty.
Yep. Call it. That's it, man.
And Call of Duty, dude, they just released World War II, which is my favorite.
On Game Pass?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy, man. I was out there. There's people still playing that. So there's all of this stuff that you guys got to keep in mind, man. When people will tend to go back, there's a lot of people right now that are playing their backlogs. That's why I said I'm proud of the Xbox community on the hardcore. Yeah, because they just went back. They just went into their games. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Hey, man, that's how you gotta do it.
Well, you have your Colts and all these dudes that do this that are online and doing that stuff. But the majority of people that I follow, they're just like, dude, they'll be whipping out games I forgot about. If you ever look at your friends list and see what they're playing.
Yeah. My friends they playing all types of games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then
a lot of people see my stuff and they're like mine, Return to Moria. I didn't know that was a game.
Right.
So it is what it is, dude. Oh man, I'm getting hit up. But go ahead, brother. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to, look, this is a gaming podcast at the end of the day, and gaming. Look, man, slow week for X. That is a funny title, slow week
Yeah,
for Xbox. So
that sounds like dude.
I was like, yeah, define slow
Yeah,
because they back into headlines. They back in the headlines,
I
and
think the most ridiculous one I saw was that Phil stepping down.
mhm. Oh no, that ain't that. Listen, he'll look. Of course, he'll retire eventually. The dude's up there. He might be he might be older than I think actually, because I remember reading that he was older than the old Sony guy,
Yeah,
Jim
he's older than me and
Jim. Oh yeah, Jim Ryan, older than Jim Ryan. So, but he ain't. But it's not like he's stepping down next year or nothing, man.
dude. Microsoft ain't gonna let him step down if he wants.
No, no.
We got it. They got stuff they got to push up.
Yeah.
We got Sarah. We got Sarah on the wing, so I'm not stressing out. So Sarah will be the one when they do make that switch. And I'm not saying this is bad, guys. I'm just saying when they make that switch, Sarah's hopefully she stays with them. They need to keep her, dude.
Yeah.
I look at Sarah Bond like I'm looking at Paul Skeens for the Pirates, for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They better pay this man the money. But the problem with that,
I look at listen, the Pirates, man. You got a generational talent.
Yeah.
Please keep them. Please, because I listen. I don't want to see another situation, especially if he goes to like the Yankees or Dodgers.
No,
man.
so that's what I was about to say on them. But the problem is that the market will force them to go.
Yeah.
It's not about and the market. I'm saying it's not just about the money, guys. It's the exposure. You saw look at all the Anaheim fans. They was all sad when old boy left and went to the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you wasn't surprised on Limit. I wasn't surprised. And then 100 as happy as 100 was all ecstatic. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a fan of Anaheim, dude, that's the reality of it. That's why I'm trying to tell this Pirates fan. I'm like, look, dude, even if they pay him the money, dude, he might not be able to ignore the market. You know, and the Yankees. Even though some of us don't like this, right? They're the big dog in the room. So
yeah.
Dude, I don't know, dude. If he's in pinstripes, I mean, I'd be like, oh, I'd be so sad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, dude, he started off as a Pirate. They developed him. I would love to see him stay, but
look, I could live if he went to the Mets before he went to the Yankees. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Anybody but the Yankees, guys. And nothing, I don't hate the Yankees, dude. I mean, we need balance. The force needs balance, guys.
I fully admit the Astros fan that hates both the Yankees and Dodgers. Fortunately, we've beat both in the playoffs before.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I have no love lost for those two teams.
You know, and it's sad because the market does dictate for a lot.
It's
unfortunate.
Yeah, and baseball isn't like basketball or football where, since they got stuff like salary caps and all that stuff, the talent could spread around. That's why a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder could win one year, but the Golden State Warriors couldn't win another. Yeah. The Lakers won a few years ago, but in baseball, nah. the baseball is like the economy, man. The ones at the tops, they can do whatever the hell they want.
The 1%ers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was nice to see who played in the playoffs this year, man. Dude, Indiana and was it Indiana?
Yep. Indiana Pacers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then who's the other team?
Oklahoma City Thunder in the final.
Yeah. So guys, like if you're just an average person, it's like gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the people that get upset about that is like the gaming media and people that don't play games, they just have channels, right?
Right.
That's them. Right. Then the rest of us that are in the quagmire of it all, we want to see that because you want to see the variety, you want to see a little bit of difference. Right. You don't want to, because sometimes we get jaded and you need that to show. So yeah, I was talking to my friend, dude. We haven't talked about basketball hardcore since I think this is the most we've talked about basketball since the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the WNBA. We've been talking about the WNBA. Dude, man, I'm still hurting, man, for Houston, dude. You guys had a killer team. I did the deep dive for the WNBA. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, Houston was unstoppable, man. They should have been a dynasty. They are a dynasty, but they should
still be around. Yeah.
Like they should have added like 3 or 4 more titles, especially because they're still pretty young.
Yeah. There should 100% be a Houston Comets wing at a Toyota Center. Yeah. And showing off Cheryl Stroop, Cynthia Cooper, and all of them. That man, even listen, I still know them by name. Yeah, that's how much I used to like them back in the day. That was such a great squad, man.
Well, dude, look, if you're a fan of things, guys, like I think people have blowback on me at the WNBA. He's like, WNBA is a joke. I was like, look, dude, I love basketball. And I don't care where it's played. Dude, I was watching late night games overseas, watching like the Philippines take on Thailand. That's how deep I go. It's just like gaming, guys. Like I'll put on that like the Minds More, and I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just didn't know about it, right? And I was interested in it, and I started playing it. That's what you do.
Yeah.
This is what all these guys don't understand that are out here talking all this trash right for the last couple of weeks. And some of them I follow them, dude. I follow guys like this because they cover nerd culture. They're not gamers. Like I listen to what they're talking about. It's like, dude, you don't even play games. I can tell, right?
Yeah.
Now, kudos to the ones that I follow that do avoid that, right? They just stay in their lane, right? Because you don't want to get exposed. I say that all the time on Limited on here. Dude. I see all the buzz with Superman. Some super high, some not so excited. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm not a DC guy, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll watch a video and I'll be like, yeah, but then I watched that one video, I did the reaction, and then they banned my video. So I was like, all right, dude, I didn't know I was like on that spectrum, but I'll take it. I have to remove it because they what do they call that? They striked it.
Oh, did that? Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, they did that to I did a reaction video to trailer some months ago, and they did the same thing to that video, my video.
That's weird because I see some people do it and they don't get striked. But
yeah, it's probably I imagine it. I imagine the size probably plays into it.
See how it is, guys.
Yeah,
just 1%. Not just
yeah. I'm interested in the movie. I'm going to give it a fair shot. I think I'm going to give it a fair shot.
Don't be like me, dude. I'm all in my feelings. Dude. I'm a professional man. All in my feelings.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair. Another thing I've been doing lately was reading a lot of comics, including some Marvel stuff.
Oh, nice.
And it's like I'm gonna be real, man. I'm gonna sound like a hater, but it just makes the MCU seems even worse to me. How little they gave a damn about adapting the actual, comics. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I saw the Thunderbolts movie. Took a date there, and it got all this praise. I'm like, really? This? And then just out of curiosity, read the comic, and the comic was what it was like. If they that's what I'll never understand about comic book movies. Just read the damn comic and put it on film. That's it.
Yeah, especially with Spider-Man, they wouldn't have with some of the.
Oh God, don't get me started with Spider-Man. The MCU Spider-Man, he's Iron Boy or Iron Man Jr. Man. He ain't Spider-Man. I didn't even like that last one with the all three Spider-Man. Even that was a bunch of nonsense. Like it's one of the movies where if you turn your brain off and enjoy the nostalgia, it's fun because you seeing Tobey Maguire and a Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. But when you actually think about the story, how the Sorcerer Supreme is so incompetent that Spider-Man talking ruins his spell and all this stuff. It's like, how is this the biggest movie franchise in the world? Sega Fever. They're idiots. The actual Marvel guys are idiots, and it's got to be saved by Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Man, that was my interpretation.
They're in big trouble. They've been in big trouble for a long time. And just to be honest with you guys, sometimes it's just not about the stupidity that they have. Some of it is because of the choices that they make.
Yeah.
And from a creative perspective, like I expected them to go a different route. They did not go that route. I'm not saying they needed to go that route, but that would have kept me interested.
100%.
Yeah. And so when you do that, and I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't interest me. And then an anime like Solo Leveling comes along, and I'm 100% watching that I rewatch episodes. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's not just complete hatred of Marvel. And what they're doing is just that they went in a different direction. And I'm like, look, that's not for me. Obviously, you're going for a different audience, so I'll just step out.
Yeah,
and the problem that you guys have to realize, like Sony's finding out the hard way, is that you do, or a lot of these game developers do, you do that and you actually shrink the size of your audience, right? People will go to other things because that's so much stuff that's out there right now. I'm watching Apple TV right now. Never thought I would. Right? I'm watching this show called Silo because my friend recommended it, right? And I didn't know I had an Apple subscription through my phone.
Right.
I just found out, so I'm like, okay, I put it up, and then I'm watching Silo, and I'm like, dude, this show is awesome.
All
right. And so again, because mostly me, bro. I'm on the anime K-drama side, and that's a good thing, guys. That's what's good when you have the competition because it forces the rest of the industries to come around and say, hey, we got to put out some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I guess Hebot said that Monkey King's coming. What is it?
Oh, Wukong, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. All these PlayStation games are all of a sudden hitting Xbox.
yeah. So again, this is what you should. So when somebody tells you Xbox is dead, then you just sit there and go, okay, but now they got Helldivers and Monkey King. Maybe it could be that they cut back on certain things because they're going in a different direction. You might not agree with the direction, guys. We might not agree with it. Like, look, trust me, man. Like me and Unlimited just said, dude, if Fable was on that list, I'd be mad.
Oh, pissed. That'd be one of the rare. Listen, the only other time I remember getting mad was when Phil lied about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But that would have pissed me off more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Spot on there. What you're saying though, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No. So we get it. We understand, right? But just now, these guys are realizing that hey, maybe if we want to sell games, maybe we should. Because again, it's not just about the consoles, guys. It's not just about the ecosystems too. It's just it's time.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is that people. And by the way, there's something that you talk about plenty of times. People don't buy games. I was just reading. I think RGN put out an article how young people aren't buying games like they did last year, right? And that's just a year-to-year comparison. I guarantee it's been worse year to year. People don't be buying games. Don't be playing these games. They just talk.
You want me to share? I gotta share this with you real quick.
All right.
When I came back to my state, Hawaii. And then I went to a church here, church. Went to this church, man, and I went and I had a Bible in my hand. Right? Now I go to the church, nobody had Bibles. And then one person looked at me and goes, "Hey, is that a Bible?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, is this a church?" I was like, what? I was like, "Well, what is this?" Like, so everything was printed out. People was using their phones.
Yeah.
So, and my point for that saying is like, gaming has changed. The consumer game of gaming has changed. Yeah. But one thing needs to happen, guys. You need to buy games.
Right.
If you don't buy the games, the industry can't continue. I understand tough economic times, but there's games that you guys love, that you guys want to play. Just support that, or at least wait for it to go on sale. The great thing about Microsoft is they understand all this, so they're giving you like, don't we have like another developer some kind of sale on there? And then I'm like, oh, what's it?
I think there's a sale every week, so it's every week. I'm not even sure.
Like, I don't know how many months of anime month that the Xbox has. And I'm like, dude, didn't you just have anime month in like January? It's anime month still. And I get why, dude. They're pushing it out there so that people, because you don't have to pay full price. Again, this is why I don't trip about the 80 games, because people do exactly what they've done when they couldn't buy the $50 game.
Right.
So you couldn't afford a $50 game, and then if you can't afford a 50, you're not going to buy an 80. Exactly. So you're just going to do what you always do: play the games that you have, work through your library, play COD for the bazillionth time like I do. And just wait for that game to go on sale to where you can afford it.
Yep.
Right. So that's why you need the people that really want to buy the game to buy it. Right. That's the first adopters. You need first adopters, and then the rest of us comes along.
Yep. Exactly.
That's how gaming's always been.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's still very niche. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to tell a quick funny story, because you were mentioning about bringing a Bible to church.
Yeah.
So, about a month ago, I took care of my grandmother for a little while, right? Yeah. And we went to church, and I left my Bible, and she scorned me on the whole drive home.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
She was mad too. Oh, she was getting on my butt, man. That was such an awkward drive going back home with her.
That's gonna be all morning.
Oh man.
My grandmother, dude. I remember when I put something in my Bible, man. I didn't even know she was there. All I felt was his hand on the back of my head. Like, what are you? What's wrong with you?
Look, if my grandmother was a younger woman, I'm pretty sure, even in my 30s, I would have got it, man. Yeah. she. Oh man. I can laugh about it now, but at the moment, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, dude. It doesn't end too.
Yeah, no.
like, I don't know about you, but like with my grandmother and my family, dude. My family's big, right? So that everybody knows. So you don't. Like my uncle's like, what you did to your grandma? Why did your grandmother hit you? Why did grandma hit you? What you did? Like that's the conversation. That's why my uncle goes, why you put something on the Bible for? Stupid. And then walk away.
My grandma's pretty much the matriarch of the whole family. So if one person if one person knows everybody knows.
Yeah.
I just had to laugh. I had to tell you that, man, because when you said that, I was like, oh man, I already know what we're. I thought. I mean, I could relate, man. Never again.
You
Never
remember that
again.
movie? You remember that movie Soul Food?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That I love that movie because that reminds me. That's
Mhm.
my family right there. That's
Yeah.
my grandma. My grandma was that. She was the anchor man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Same, man.
Yeah.
Same.
It's. I miss those days, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Tool Man, what's up? Let me catch this chat. Tool Man, what's up, brother? Thanks for being here, bro.
Oh, what's up, Slow man?
And
And
also
same for
Vontae.
Vontae.
Yeah, what's up, Vontae? Yeah, Unlimited's out of retirement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are gonna do a wrecking crew this weekend, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap it up Unlimited just because I.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, of course.
Yeah, I'm trying to, man. I try to keep my stuff short. It's hard though.
Nah.
But I mean, but be honest with you guys, dude. Just like Unlimited says, I'm glad you're here, bro. Because I've been living by your credo, man. If you play your games and you don't pay attention to what's going on, it's all this stuff, just all this stuff would have went over your head, dude. Because if you're just playing your games and you turn on your Xbox, you suffer from what me and Unlimited suffer from. It's like, dang, another game.
Mm-hmm.
What, you just dropped Doom? I thought Doom was next month. You know, that's what when Doom released, I thought it was like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Even my daughter was like, "Dad, did you know Doom released?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought that." Was you know.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like I do as much installing and uninstalling almost daily at this point.
See, and that's the real discussion we need to have when it comes to Microsoft. Right. That's the discussion we're having. Is that hard drive?
Yeah. They need to put a 4 terabyte hard drive on the next Xbox because this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna charge us $800 probably or whatever.
Right.
You know, go all in already. I'm at that point, dude. Avante says, remember to remind yourselves that Xbox is dying and layoffs only matter when it's Microsoft. Yeah,
it is funny, Vontae, how everybody forget all the layoff canceled games. Like Sony literally canceled what, dozen games?
Yeah, a bunch. Yeah.
Right. But with Microsoft, the world is ending. Xbox is dead. And then what happens? A day later, Sony, a company that we told. By the way, I think Colin Moriarty even says some nonsense about why would Sony put their games on a dying brand like Xbox, right? And then a day later, Helldivers 2 come to Xbox.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how they have a following where they're constantly wrong.
Dude, that's how, dude. That's the world in general right now, bro. That's how everybody is. It's like even people tell me stuff, and I'm like, bro, you can, if you want to roll with that, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be right here, dude. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Vontae, dude. I mean, again, perspective, dude. I work with guys that actually I did not realize that they had as much time in service as they did, and they took this thing called fork in the road, and they retired, man. They retired like about 6 years early.
Yeah,
and they was happy. They was like, "Oh man, this is the greatest thing." And then there's other people. Yeah, I'm just saying, guys. Just keep what I mean by perspective is just remember that everybody's got a different story.
Yep.
If you guys keep that in mind, be a little bit respectful, you'll be good.
Yep.
Toolman says, "Hey, my son is heading to Hawaii this Sunday with his friend for a week on vacation." Hey, Toolman, bro, that's cool. Just tell him like if you're gonna eat, like watch out about Waikiki, bro. Because like it's expensive all over the island, but Waikiki, man, they soak you, bro. They soak you. Now, I'm not saying like there's certain things that you want to experience that you're willing to pay the money for. But, I mean, don't buy fast food in Waikiki.
Yeah.
If you want to pay the money, go do something exotic. Like there's like a udon place there, dude. It's like one of the best udon places to eat at, and it's right on Waikiki, the main road, and you'll know it because everybody's waiting in that line.
Right.
You get quality food at an expensive price, but at least it's quality. Don't be like, or then you might have to do the 7-Eleven thing, dude. Too. 7-Eleven got some pretty good deals on stuff, and they got some pretty unique foods that are unique to this island.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to experience that, but yeah, just tell them, just be wary of how they spend their money and where they shop. Vontae says, also, I have no interest in Helldivers, but good on them for wanting to make money, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, look, I don't have interest in it neither. It's just funny that we're constantly told that Sony's never going to do X, Y, and Z, and then it's almost immediately they're proven wrong.
It's just like comic books, guys. Me and Unlimited can attest to this. Since we're comic book guys, there's no sense in getting mad because these dudes
Mhm.
would jump ship all the time.
Yeah.
So if you liked an artist, dude, and then all of a sudden you hated him because he went to a company, and then you out of luck. Because Jim Lee's would jump back and forth all the time, dude.
All the time. All the greats have George
All-
Perez.
yeah,
You
George.
name them.
Yeah.
Um,
And back then I felt good for them, man, because I knew they needed to get paid and they needed to
yeah.
get, right. And then you got
Yeah.
some of the best stories, right? It took that company in a different direction, right? Because if you ever
Mhm.
sat there, like if you hated DC, but you liked Justice League or Justice League America, like I did, right? Right.
Yeah.
You still bought it, right? But you was a comic book dude, right? And then, but then sometimes they would come. Those guys would come over and they do like a one off on Avengers,
Yeah. Look, even Stan Lee had a tiny stint in DC before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're growing up like I did back in that time, guys, it was more about the competition that drove.
Mhm.
Not like now, how everything's just hateful.
Right.
Back then, it was about competition, and the industry itself was because if everybody did well, if one company did well, it gave a chance for everybody to do well.
Yep.
Right, that's why there was that competition back and forth. And again, man, as a Marvel guy, I gotta shout out DC because there was the. I always say this, dude. There was the gods on Mount Olympus,
Mhm.
and Marvel and the rest of us was all the demigods on the bottom, just looking up on top, on high. And that's why I had a chip on my shoulder with DC, if I'm being honest. But you couldn't touch their stuff. You just couldn't.
Yeah. But it did allow to Marvel's credit, there's a reason why they were number 2 and at many times the number 1 publisher even, and
Yeah.
during your heyday,
I mean, if I'm
'cause
being
they saw-
honest,
uh-huh.
if I'm being honest, dude, a lot of that competition actually they had to take different directions, and that's what I love.
Yeah, exactly. But no other company was able to do it though, and there are a lot more than there are now. A lot more comic publishers than there are now back then, and none of them was able to capture it thanks to even Marvel sitting there. Being able to stand out and sell well.
All I know is I know DC they had that run.
Mhm.
They've had for me as a Marvel guy, and then when I read DC Comics, the '83 through '95
Yeah.
era, and then the '98 through 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Well, I mean, my favorite era of DC is that 96 through 20, around that 15-year run, about 95 to 2010, where if you ask me a lot of my favorite books ever, it's probably in that stretch of time. And with Marvel, again, I've been reading a lot more Marvel, and I kind of I've been reading some of the 2010s, not the 2010s, but the early 2000 stuff. I kind of like it up until Civil War, but after Civil War, it just seemed like it was character assassination, then character assassination. Like Iron Man is basically a villain. Spider-Man reveals his identity, which could have been an interesting story, but then they just
They can't follow through.
yeah. And for some reason, Marvel seems to hate Spider-Man. I don't know what it is. Like, I get it. Spider-Man is supposed to be relatable because he struggles like us to pay bills and all that stuff. But Marvel goes too far with it sometimes, man. They'll like kill Aunt May, then ruin his marriage with Mary Jane, then have his friends and like the Human Torch hate him. I'm like, what the fuck is why does he suffer like this? You know what I'm saying?
It's like what I'll say is it's like the same reason you see bad writing in our current entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have no direction or nowhere to go. Instead of going back to the basics and trying to reinvent it. Look, dude, we had Dr. J,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dr. J transforming the NBA transform, and then you got Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And then transform again, then you got a ball player like Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's what happens. It's like it's the core components is there of what they are as athletes, but it's the way that they present it, right? How they flip the script,
Right.
and that's kind of like how it's always been with comics or fantasy and sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll just be honest with you. I tell my daughter this all the time, and luckily my daughter reads a lot. But I tell her all the time, I was like, dude, you guys need to be able to tell stories. You guys need to read more. You guys need to go back to some basic stuff. Luckily for my daughter, she kind of has an old soul about her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even my son to some extent. So, and maybe their generation will be like that, so we can get back to good, bro. Because right now,
Yeah.
dude, Asia's just whooping our ass up and down. We've got some good stuff coming out, but Asia's just dominating everything. And what I mean is, not like you might like the content or not like the content. I mean, as far as the pull and the influence,
Right.
it has way more of an international. And then France is stepping up now too. That's why that Obscura Expedition 33.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They are French based.
Yeah, because their art and their art industry, like all of that's transformed.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but like with a lot of the guys I know, dude, they don't read American comics and they can't get into anime, and they went over to Europe and they're and in France, dude, you know how French are, dude. You gotta learn French to read their stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So that's the way it is. So,
right. I guess I gotta stop talking shit about France.
You can still talk trash. That'll never go away.
No,
you try and be nice with them, it's
right?
Like, and then like they just say something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was trying to be your friend, but obviously you chose violence today, so let's go.
Yeah.
I was doing that online with them, dude. It's like, I was complimenting. I was like, "Hey, man, dude, this is really cool," and stuff like that. It's like, American comics,
right?
Like, all right, look, bro.
Yeah. I'm like that too. Once you start talking about America, I'm like, all right, this all lives off. You son of SOB.
And that's what like we don't go there for that, right? Like,
yeah.
It's just like in COD when I would play COD, man. It's like I was shocked, like when I first started playing COD, dude, British people, man. The British people in COD, dude, they would just be fucking trash about Americans. To the point where I was like, all right, yeah. Like even me, I was just seeing that, all right, whatever. But damn, they just go all in, and some people, like Australians too, right? And I got upset with them because I'm kind of, all right, dude, this is like, I get some complaints you get in, but now you just sound like a whiny,
right?
Now you're being irritating me, right? And then all you would do, like I remember I was playing this one time, and then this one dude was like, yeah, and he was quiet, and then these guys just kept on talking trash, because they were like, you know what the problem with you Yanks is, you guys think you're better than everybody else, and I'm like, bro, we're just playing COD here, you know. And then this one dude was like, all right, Harry Potter, and then they started losing their trash, and of course Americans being Americans, and people probably didn't, but because you got under their skin, then everybody started jumping in, and they started rage quitting, and we're like, what a bunch of wusses, dude. We're like, we don't even care. Right? It's just like there's nobody harder on our country than our own people.
Yeah.
It's like, look, fix this. Why did you why is a Big Mac $20? You know what I'm saying? We do that to ourselves. We don't need you doing it for us. we know we got problems. So, but Avante says started playing Lara Croft. For how much fun that game is. Yeah, dude. I gotta get back.
Is that on Game Pass?
Oh yeah, they put it on. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Dope. Oh wow.
They just put it in there, right? They're like, here. I'm like, all right, bro, slow your roll, guys. I mean, it's gonna take me forever. But some of these, again, guys, in Game Pass, these games you don't finish in like 2 hours.
No.
Even the games you think is 2 hours, like that. What's that one game we like, dude? The pixelated one. Dude. And I played that game. I was like, all right, dude, this game is like longer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Somebody told me 6 hours.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, somebody told me 6 hours, and this is definitely not like. What did they do? They just ran through this thing.
That's how I think a lot of people these days play it.
Yeah.
Or what they do is that they'll play a game for a little while, then on to the next thing, and then cry. You know, I got nothing to play.
You know, I would even respect those guys because we know we got a lot of guys that don't even touch that game, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, dude, I try to play as much games as possible. Also, in all fairness, complete, disclosure, I'm trying to get my big points.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I
play 8 Game Pass games this month. So,
hey, them points add up fast.
Yeah, we need those points, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all factored in because it works out for them in the end. Because, look, dude, companies like Microsoft just don't give stuff away. Right? They know what they're doing. Right, so don't feel bad. Dude, take advantage of it because they're gonna get money from you one way or the other.
Yep.
Right, and every little nickel and dime they get from you, right? There's how much is it? 50 million people doing the same thing. So
exactly,
they'll get you one way or the other. Hey, did you guys try this game? Hey, guess what's in Game Pass? Don't feel guilty. They know what they're doing because you probably like it, and then you'd be like me complaining, oh man, about this. was so good I bought it. I won't have time to play it, but I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Unlimited. Sorry, my brother. I gotta go.
Oh, it's all good, man. It was good chatting with you as always.
Yeah,
So,
man.
yeah. Hit me up for the next one.
Yeah, I'll just send out all the things to everybody because it is going to be a wrecking crew.
Yeah.
I might do it tomorrow night. It just depends on my daughter's job. 'Cause
Alright.
she might have a function to go to.
Right.
And, I'm broke, so I can't buy her a car, and I don't want to pay insurance.
Yeah.
Because I was pushing my kids to get their license. Hurry up and get your license, so dad doesn't have to drive you around. And then the economy hit.
Right.
I was like, oh, no, daddy will take you. Daddy will take I'll
Right.
drive you.
Yeah.
Because Geico, man, they raised my insurance, dude. They raised it by like $50.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, man. When I was looking into insurance, I was like, oh my goodness, this is.
Yeah,
They're
crazy.
killing us. They're killing us.
Dude, you know what they did was I went to go get my safety check. And when I put up my insurance thing, they're like, oh, your insurance expired. I said, what do you mean it's expired? So I contacted them. And what they said was they dropped my insurance the month before. And what they said was they was like, oh, yeah, because we needed you to sign in, log in. And you didn't log in, and we sent you an email. And so I told the guy, okay, so you sent me an email. Every time you guys sneeze, I get a notification from text. And number one, I don't see no email in my inbox.
Right.
And number two, I'm an admin type. I don't see no email in my inbox, number one. And number two, where's my notification? Right? You guys told me I want an igloo cooler, which I did not want, and I get a notification for that.
Right.
And then you have a change on my insurance, and you guys didn't notify me for that. Well, but if you want to, and they're like, well, sorry, you probably, like they wouldn't admit to it. And they're like, all right, dude, let me start my insurance. And they're like, okay, so we have to charge you today. We have to charge you $225 because you dropped your insurance. And I was like, bro, I didn't drop my insurance. You guys dropped my insurance.
Exactly.
Great. And I was like, okay, I see what you guys are doing there. Look, dude, I know you have the Maui fires. There's all this kind of crap going on. So you guys trying to, nickel and dime everybody. Right. And so I need my insurance. I'm in a rock and a hard place. So I'll do this. But, but then what can you do? You try and look around. There's nothing. So my friend, because I'm a veteran, my friend is like, oh, you should try a Federal Credit Union or the Navy Federal Credit Union. So I'm going to go check it out. Because that ticked me off, dude. And I've been with Geico for a long time. Never been in an accident. Never put in a claim. Ever.
Right.
I've been driving. I've had their insurance for over 20-something years. And I'm older, dude. I'm old.
Right.
So I'm like, look, dude, it's not my fault that you guys are getting ripped off. It's also not my fault that, like all these natural disasters are happening. But it is what it is, bro. It's like everything. Oh, look, Sega Man. What's up, Sega Man, brother?
Oh, what's up, Sega Man?
Yeah, sorry, my brother. We got to wrap it up, but I'll send you a link on Saturday, maybe Friday. If it's Friday night, I'll let you guys know in the discussion.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
if anybody wants to jump in, but I do gotta go, guys. I gotta make this thing, man, because it's government.
Right.
But shout out to the chat, Sega Man. Thanks for being here, brother. Vontae as well. Tool Man, thanks for stopping by. Anthony Chipmunk, Invader Gaming was here. Heba joined us earlier in the chat, but he's always on the move, so
right.
I got to take care of something. Did I miss it? Oh, Big B Money, bro. I think he's in your chat a lot too.
Yeah.
Big B Money, man. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Did I say Vontae, bro? Vontae, thanks for being here as well. And just really quickly, guys, the reason this podcast we did, bro, don't worry. Don't. It's fine. It'll be okay, dude. Just play your games and none of this stuff. They just would have. I was playing my games and I was trying to catch up on that Silo show on Apple, and then I'm waiting for that Momoa Chief of War show to come out. Hope it's good.
Right.
All right, so if you occupy yourself or like Unlimited, I always say, just play your games. Trust me, we have a lot of games to play, and all of this stuff would have went over your head, right? Because it's the usual suspects, right? And of course, you have the Xbox guys that just troll along with it. Dude, nobody likes games to be canceled, but at the end of the day, they just play the games that you got.
Yeah.
There's like 20 games.
Every company has canceled games and are canceling games. So.
Yeah, just do a quick big search, get some points, and just look. Oh, I wonder how many games have been canceled. Or go chat GPT. How many games have been canceled this year? And it'll open your eyes and give you some perspective. Then just put in Microsoft stock price. That'll give you perspective as well, good and bad. They're not saying like so. They're the big dog. They're the elephant in the room, guys. They do whatever they want to do. That's the reality of it. Right? I'm not saying that I agree with everything they do, but that's the way it is. So find solace in at least in that much.
Right.
And in your video games. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Unlimited, thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right, brother. And we out.